Well, I figured it was time I put voice to video and maybe document kind of the story of the radio show and how things came to be. 'Cause I mean, if you're already seeing this video, you probably already have some idea of who I am as Reinson the radio man. But how did Reinson become the radio man? And I want to shout out my homie Rapsy Giza and all the people on Twitch and in my Discord and just anyone and everyone that's ever supported me, Twitch endeavor, YouTube endeavor, anything. Uh, in the radio, long before even Twitch. Jeez, um, just unbelievably grateful for the support, and I wouldn't have imagined myself in this position. I mean, 2 years ago, and I'm kind of wondering where we're gonna be in a year. But I figured I would start out with what exactly is my involvement with DayZ. I mean, I started playing DayZ as its original Arma 2 mod back in 2013, 2012, something like that. Pretty early into its development, um, before they really had implemented a shitload of things. I mean, you remember how your melee weapons used to have like 10,000 of something and you could reload your axe? I feel like the OGs remember that. But yeah, I was always interested in DayZ just as the idea of an open world kind of being continuous uh, with all kinds of dramatic looting and shooting and what have you. You know, I always had a thing for the game. Can't say I really played the mod very much before official launch, but I feel like the time I did have with it left an impression on me. Because by the time the standalone came out in 2014, I had purchased it, and I'm not really sure if I don't think I heard any really of the controversy and crap going on with the launch of standalone DayZ and all that mess. I didn't really even play it much at launch. I think I opened the game once or twice, and then I drifted away from the friend group I had at the time who was even playing the game. So DayZ sat in my library for, I mean, close to, let me think, 9 years or so, 8, 9 years that I didn't play it, which is a pretty insanely long time. Uh, and the thing that made me pick it up again was specifically I had quit a pretty long-term job I had at an airport, and honestly, it was a pretty life-changing and traumatizing event. I wasn't really sure where I was gonna go in life, and I didn't feel like there was a place to move forward, and I was dealing with mental illness, and well, still I am, but especially so in those times. And I needed a game to kind of get my mind off of everything because I felt like I had played everything. Uh, there really wasn't anything new for me. I felt to try, but DayZ, I guess, was the gleaming diamond, and I said, I haven't played that in forever. What's the worst that could happen? I wasn't even really expecting anything other than fleeting entertainment or not to be entertained at all, and I was wrong. Uh, and when I first joined up, I already knew I wanted a mix between PvP and PvE gameplay, uh, ideally so that I could acquire gear and try out PvP at my own leisure, you know. So I went looking for a server with those kind of mechanics, and I landed in Sunnyvale 11, Chernaris, which I guess to outsiders I think has a pretty bad reputation, and I think it's kind of warranted having played there for multiple years at this point. Not throwing shade at them or anything, but uh, there's a reason why I'm playing there right now. I'll say that much. But either way, I ended up there, and it kind of became a second digital life for me. I didn't, especially when I didn't really know what I was doing in the game, and everything was brand new. It was like a whole new world where you could kind of just explore and feel free and by yourself and look for things to find your own goal and to achieve and to strive and just be social with people. I would say for the longest time I didn't even really talk to people on Sunnyvale, honestly. And I'm roughly thinking this is 2023. Uh, I think summer of 2023. Uh, but through the months of just grinding and becoming familiar with the game and the community that that server had, I've I was hooked. I felt like it was my second life online that I could just log in and just forget about the world because this was my world, you know. And you know, it occupied the time I feel like it needed to be occupied because I was horribly depressed, and it was the game I needed. Though I would say I played about maybe 4 or 5 months or so, and I feel like I had learned just about everything. And by that point, it was getting kind of stale. Then I reached for higher heights, and I said, you know, you got to earn the super stallion. You got to do other things like that, and set higher goals. And eventually, I did end up getting that super stallion 4 different times. But after playing for like a year straight, at that point, I was pretty bored again. And we had met some people along our travels. Uh, One of them I hope sees this video. Gigi, shout out to you, Gigi. You remember you were there those wipe days just fishing. But one of them left a particular impression on me just because it left a kind of desire in me. Uh, and his name, or just his online name at the very least, was Private Donut Pool. And me and him had a pretty good rapport. Even when I wasn't really known to many people, uh, I, I, I joked in chat, he would joke back, and we just knew how to bounce off of each other. And he was good company. And whenever I'd see him online, I would know to holler at him. Uh, and he he put the idea of a radio station in my head because he was the guy who originally was doing the radio show. I don't think he was really doing it for like a long term kind of thing. I think he was just doing it for the fuck of it. Just playing music over the radio as he wandered throughout Chernarus. And that kind of left like this, I wouldn't say like jealousy, but this want that I want to be that guy. I kind of want to be that guy who steps up and plays music and and commentates. And that sounds like fun. You know, I've never really done anything like that, but I like music. I feel like I have decent music taste. I wouldn't say it's like great or excellent, but I wanted a place to maybe an outlet to show off my music, and or at least the music I've accumulated. It's not like I wrote it and performed it myself. Anyways, uh, but either way, it was just kind of just a simple thought, and more time passed after that. Not sure how much, maybe a few months, but eventually I felt I was pretty done with Sunnyvale and its gameplay loop. I'd achieved everything I'd really wanted to achieve, which really wasn't much. It, it was mostly just owning expensive things and not so much killing people. But I figured if there's any time to do this radio station, then it's probably now. And and the only thing that had been stopping me previous to this was I had no fucking no idea, no clue how to use virtual audio cables, and I had no idea what voice meter was or any of that stuff. And if anything, we were very fortunate and very lucky that I even managed to get those settings sorted out, because good lord, my understanding of that program is fairly recent for how much I was using it. But anyways, I figured that I was gonna start a fresh wipe on the server. You know, everyone's at ground zero, earning their equipment and money and everything back. I figured I'll just do this as like a side gig and just see what happens. Still try to achieve our usual, because we were still unemployed and we were pretty unhappy at that point in our life. I would say we were kind of worse off by then. I was pretty depressed, and I I partially started the radio show just because I wanted to maybe talk to people and see what people had to say about the music. You know, I wasn't really expecting very much out of the endeavor, though. I didn't have any kind of plan. I didn't have any kind of future goal or any goal. I was just living in the moment, doing what I knew. You know, I figured I'd give this a whirl. So on June, it's like it was like June like 3rd or something like that. I'd have to go back and look. We had a wipe, and I started off just like everybody else. You know, you spawned in Berezino, you found a few items, you sold them up at Ricky's Trader Zone, and you you went fishing, because that was the meta. If you wanted to make $1 million, or if you wanted to earn a helicopter on wipe day, you were fishing with your group uh, to make that money. But I picked up a field transceiver with a car battery, and I took it down to the shore with me, and I just started. I don't quite remember what the first song was, but I know that I think it was maybe the second or third song I ever played over the radio was C418 with Sweden. Yeah, that track. And I remember people, after I had just only spoken once in chat, being like, "Hey, there's a radio show. There's music you can listen to. You can make requests." You know, I already had somebody hooked on the line, and they were like, "Whoa, this guy really playing, Minecraft C418 uh over an actual radio." And it was like very like it was like a surprising thing to them. It was like a really novel thing. I don't think anyone had been doing any kind of radio or anything in the months leading up to this, because Private Donut Pool he'd been gone for a while, months. So it was really it was a really damn cool moment, and it just piled up. More and more and more people started listening to the radio show, just off rip, and it was just like the radio show took over the chat. I mean, people could not stop talking to me, could not stop making requests with me. It was a hit, just straight off the bat, just straight off the pitch. And all I really did was just be like, I'm going to play a song, I'm going to talk, have an impression, have a reaction, try to make a joke, try to make them laugh, lead into the next song, play the next song, do it again. You know, that was just the formula in my head. And it was just like I was embraced by Sunnyvale 11 that day. And there's so many fucking names that I wish I could go back and remember them all. Uh, but I just started doing that all day, talking on the radio, uh, playing music, talking to people. I did that day and day and night, just full throttle. This is where I want to be. And I specifically remember on the third day, someone gave me a piece of art, and it was like, just a little logo, Reinson Radio, number one, radio channel or station on Sunnyvale, which honestly, that's never happened since. But that was fucking incredible. I mean, absolutely phenomenal that anyone would go out of their way to make me any kind of, piece of art. I I just couldn't fathom it in a way because it was just was such a generous gesture, and I'd only just begun, and I was, as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't anyone to anyone until I picked up that microphone or that radio. Same thing. And and off the bat, we especially were making the Germans happy. We had a fair few handful of German players. Uh, I think from Frankfurt. I'm pretty sure from Frankfurt. Uh, that and forgive me, Maxwell and Capone. That were their names specifically. Uh, for maybe completely forgetting where from Germany they are, but uh, but bless their souls, I've always been a fan of Rammstein and a few other German bands, and they were stoked to hear that, and they showed me their favorite German rap songs that I had never heard before, and we really, it's like you just made a brand new best friend just right off the bat. And they even went out of their way and built me a little a studio, fully furnished and everything inside their little base compound they had going on. And well, I kind of regret to say I never really ended up using that by very much, but I would say it was for other reasons really. I didn't want other people to go to their base, and it's their private quarters, and people. I mean, honestly, people were visiting at that point just to come in and say hello, and people began to donate items within the first couple of days, and money, and all manner of things. I remember someone gave James, if you ever ended up watching this video, he's still with us. Uh, he gave me a what was it? A crisp $5 bill and a high five. I liked that. I liked that. And it didn't matter what people gave to me. It was the most incredible gift I've ever been given because you know I as far as I'm concerned, what I did and what I've done with the radio was just so simple, and I mean honestly, anyone could do it. But anyways, uh, I continued doing it week after week, and I probably spent on average 14 to 16 hours awake, honestly. Just wake up, hop on the radio, maybe I wouldn't take a break. I would eat, drink, be at the PC that whole time, honestly. But I I felt probably the best I had in a long time at that point. I mean, it really was like having a community at your beck and call, or like you just made friends with everybody. Everybody knows you by virtue of you doing this, and it I feel it profoundly changed me, or at least taught me that I can entertain people in some kind of way. Um, which it's not like I couldn't before, but it kind of reignited that kind of like spark way back in like my teenage years, where it's like you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be an entertainer, you want to show people things, you want to talk to people, and just number one, I just want to talk to people. I just want to talk in general. Uh, and that kind of, I feel like fundamentally changed me ever since then. I don't feel like I've been the same person ever since I picked up the radio show. I continued doing that for about a month, and by by the end of the month, we had accumulated something like I think 84 separate unique donations from 84 unique different people. And I specifically remember we made 6 million in-game dollars uh, alone in just people giving me tips and donations purely for the radio. And we held a number of contests, uh, or not even contests, but raffles over the radio, where I'd get everyone's name into a bucket and assign them a number based on the order they signed up, and then we would hit an RNG generator, and draw from the pool and see who gets the prize money, which I would split up into a million, and then we had like 500K, and then 300K, and then 200, and 100. People donated cars and helicopters and guns and weed and every manner of things. We gave it all away because I mean I was doing the radio. I didn't have anything to do with playing the game at that point. I had even a couple like as soon as the radio took off and we were making money, we had zero reason to worry about playing the game. And as far as I'm concerned, the radio show became playing the game to me from that point on. Because I just, playing games by myself just doesn't hit the same, you know? Especially after everything I experienced in that first month. Uh, Because I mean, honestly, looking back, when I first started that radio show on Sunnyvale 11, that was the most popular I ever was. Just off rip. I mean, I legitimately think I had 60 to 70 people out of the whole server cap listening. I mean, the amount of requests I went through, I literally didn't have to find any music for an entire month. For an entire month, people were able to give me a list from the moment I logged in, and to the point I had to log out and tell people to stop giving me songs because I need to go to bed. Uh, I'm not even kidding. So that first wipe, I'll never forget it. I really wish I had more footage of that time, recordings from that time. Uh, it wouldn't be quite possible because we were playing music, copyright music, essentially as an in-game pirate radio. But well, you live and you learn, right? I try to keep more screenshots of uh, the nice things people say along the way since then. But anyways, the first wipe was incredible, and I I I was looking forward to continuing it with the next wipe. But I could definitely feel. I felt I was I felt things kind of change with that first wipe, or at least that second wipe. I mean, because that was when I first really saw kind of the revolving door that servers can be, or at least as much as they could be. Because I felt like I lost a lot of people along the way, and it was a bit discouraging at first, but I but I proceeded on, and we made new friends along the way, and we had all kinds of more memorable times. But more towards the end of that wipe, I just felt like I was just kind of there with people maybe listening, but if they were listening, then we weren't talking, and if they were listening, they weren't making requests, which to me, after having spent like a full solid month not even worrying about what music's gonna be next because we have a fucking list that's like dozens of songs long. Well, I had to go and find my own music, and I felt like I kind of got trapped in my own little music loop of like repeating the same songs, and I didn't feel like the radio show was as good as it was in the beginning. And I just got self-conscious, I guess. And it doesn't really help that I kind of had a failed foray because I was kind of trying to think about expanding the radio show to another platform, but this was a time before they had the Twitch DJ program, and I was thinking there was no way we're gonna be able to play and do what I do on Twitch without getting sued to oblivion, something like that, or just sheer paranoia that something will happen to my long term, you know, ambitions with maybe what I could do with this. And so we were going to have a separate Discord server, and I was going to try and stream from Discord and stuff like that. And I very quickly discovered how, you know, terrible of an idea that was, because there wasn't really many people interested. And I was so hyped for the release of Space Marine 2, and I really wanted to play it and stream it with everybody, and then we had, you know, nobody show up, and I kind of despaired for a bit there, and I kind of faltered, and I I just stopped doing the radio. I didn't really tell anybody I was gonna stop playing DayZ and stuff. I was telling them I'm gonna play Space Marine 2 for a week and then we're gonna come back, something like that, you know. And instead, I within a week I never came back, or not never came back, but I didn't come back. And I spent probably, I think it was about 4 or 5 months. I think 4 months, kind of just doing my own thing at that point. Kind of felt like the radio venture had had come and gone by that point, and that I don't think I'm gonna do it again because uh I mean I felt like I was gonna have to dedicate super hard, just like I did, you know, right off the bat. Uh, those and I also kind of felt like I uh I had missed the iron while it was hot. If I was gonna stream or do anything, I should have done it on Twitch. Should have done this and that. Done all this work. I said I should have. I was gonna do, you know, and that all. Well, it all kind of culminated in me just kind of just giving up on the radio show. Let's just put it like that. But one of my original listeners, uh, Dan Finger, uh, man, the Dan, if you ever see this video or find this video, you and Monklock were like massive, massive encouragements in the early days and beyond. Uh, 'Cause in January or so of 2025, he messaged me, hey, could you come back and maybe do some of the radio gig? And at first I don't think I told him I was not really interested, but at the time I know that I kind of wasn't feeling it really. I wasn't really sure how it would go. I feel like I kind of felt like I had flopped, and all those aforementioned things we already spoke of. But I figured, well, I might as well come back and give it a try, because you know it was really fun at the very least. And if nothing happens, I can just fade back into obscurity. I wasn't expecting I was expecting on that anything on that venture either. I didn't think I was gonna stick around. I didn't think I was gonna get many people, if anybody. But no, I came back and I showed my face, and I was immediately recognized, and not just by like one people, but multiple people. I specifically remember it was Drake and his wife Como. There's two other names I also need to put on the list of honor for being there since the beginning, and and seriously, shoutouts to them for their support through thick and thin, because we definitely did have a period of time where I just disappeared, and I mean I guess this video will kind of tell you why if you ever ended up listening to it, Drake and Homo. Uh, I uh, I didn't mean to unfriend you guys for so long. Uh, in that period between the first radio show era and coming back, I just felt like I had failed. But anyways, Drake and Como, shouts to you guys. They recognized me off the bat, and many other people did. So I hopped right back to it and got back to it like we hadn't ever stopped, you know? And I felt the embrace of the people was so great again that uh I'll stick around this time. I I mean I will always say that the first month was the most popular, but I learned to kind of be happy with the people I've come with along the way and not strive to be the biggest and the biggest numbers and all that. I just wanted to have fun with people, and it gave me the most entertainment in my life that I felt like I'd ever had. Because I've never really had kind of my own community at my fingertips in a way. Uh, I mean, I'm forever grateful for it. It doesn't even really feel like something I set out to do as much as something that's happened to me. Uh, and I kept that radio show going from January till about sheesh. Let me see. In August or September of this year. So, I mean, we did a shitload of radio, day in and day out. I got on a job by that point in January, so it wasn't nearly at the same tempo, but I definitely dedicated myself to it, and it it paid off in dividends. And that kind of brings us up to where we are now, where we've kind of taken our leaps, our first forays off of Sunnyvale, where I'm not in the place where I'm most known. 'Cause we're playing on a different, completely different server, and completely different games, and not even really doing a DJ stick. Uh, I mean, I'd still like to get back to doing it, maybe here and there, but I mean, streaming as a traditional streamer and everything has really made me have fun with video games again at a point in time where honestly I don't think I'd play video games right now if I didn't have all this going on. If I hadn't gotten people to follow me for so long. Well, a year is a long time to me. Year plus or whatever. But I kind of left Sunnyvale just because I mean it's been more than a year or so of doing it. Uh, I've played our YouTube playlist is up to 5,000 songs, and I don't know how many hundreds of hours of content that is. But I kind of felt like I had said it all in a sense, and was just kind of going by the book, kind of going by the numbers. I felt like I could be doing on better on the radio, and I didn't feel like it had the same social dynamic winding down uh, the past couple of months before this one. Because I felt like I just saw more and more of my friends leave and not come back. And if they did come back, I wasn't really sure they were interested in the radio. Or if, I mean, even cared about me anymore. Uh, I guess I was always kind of a bit self-conscious about trying to connect with everybody and talk to everybody. But, I mean, it's so many people at points. Uh, Never been good with my memory. But anyways, I uh I just felt like it wasn't the social experience I quite wanted it to be anymore. And the place I wanted it to be on, I kind of wanted to aim for the stars, you know? Uh, let's just put ourselves out there for everyone to see and see what happens. I don't have any illusions whether it'll be successful or whatnot, you know, but it's just I might as well try. And I think it's more than incredible that uh, we've even gotten to do streaming, which we gotta backpedal a little bit there and get ahead of myself, because in the last month or two, uh, before I put down the radio show, uh, I had I had finally made the leap and put it on Twitch, just because uh, Twitch had the DJ program sorted out finally, and it finally kind of gave me the confidence and feel safe enough to do what I was always doing, just in front of a webcam and people seeing my screen. And you know, the turnout was fucking phenomenal, just absolutely incredible. I mean, we had a point. I mean, granted, I did get raided by a bigger party, but there was a point we had about 30, 40 people tuning into the stream at once, which, I mean, that was just, I, you know, that's a feeling you kind of chase a little, though you don't want to get addicted to the cloud. Trust me. But but anyways, I'll also backpedal a little bit and say we did try streaming uh something other than the radio show in March or February or so. We were trying to we were throwing our hands at being a Minecraft streamer, funnily enough. But we were trying to split the radio and Minecraft in half and trying to do it this half the week and that half the week and do Minecraft specifically on the weekends. Uh, it didn't really pan out. Didn't really go anywhere I'd like it to. Wasn't really I wasn't enjoying myself as I thought I was going to, so we kind of put that down. And then we picked it up and did the DJing thing. And well, we had followers uh before, and we had followers then, and everything kind of culminated in being able to stream what I want to stream and hang out with some friends. And that's all I can really ask for out of a streaming gig as far as I'm concerned. Uh, I'm extremely humbled to be anybody's source of entertainment, really. And I'd really like to see where it goes. But what else? What other things do I think I can tell about the radio show? I mean, my my biggest takeaway was that to me it's something so simple, but I've seen it time and time again in people that the simple things make a pretty big difference. And it seems like maybe the radio show wasn't so simple to many people. It was a means to like hang out and talk and socialize and share and just be social and just let go of our burdens in life in a virtual landscape. And just the amount of appreciation people have given me for just talking to them and listening to them and giving them the music they want. Uh, I mean, honestly, it just feels miraculous to be in the position that I'm in. 'Cause again, I didn't set out to be anything or get anywhere, and yet here we are, and it's really just the beginning. We have so far to travel and so many things to do and figure out and try and express. You know, I think I just want to really just talk to people, and just speak, just let just let people hear me. You know. Anyways, shout outs to all the people who've made it possible along the way. I mean, Ichi, Gigi, Wiz, XNF, Rapsy Giza, Tsunami Boy, Como, Drake. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Diesel, that's another one. Whiskey Sour, that was another one. I could go through the whole fucking list of names. But, they, the people made the radio show what it is, and the radio show helped make me who I am today, I feel. And, I hope to keep on doing this in perpetuity. And maybe at some point I'll tell this story a bit more eloquently. But I figured I'd put pen to paper, so to speak. Because man, I agonized over it. It took me like 6 tries. This is like this is the best one, so we're gonna roll with it. All right. But if you have any other suggestions for topics or things you'd like to hear from me, then let me know. That or just suggestions for the stream or whatever, you know. Just say hi. Anyways, I'll catch you guys again at some other point. Until then.